Hi, class. So, if you're not in America, or maybe you're new to America, I thought that I would talk about Halloween and some vocabulary words that are popular this time of year. Maybe you've heard them, and if you haven't, here's a chance to learn them and start using them in conversation. So, Halloween is October 31st in America. Okay. It's the month of spook. We start celebrating though as soon as October 1st by putting up decorations, as you can see in this picture. Those are supposed to be scary decorations. Some people like to turn parts of their houses into a haunted house for trick-or-treaters or children that go house to house asking for candy to walk through and get scared. Sometimes you might see a bigger haunted house in a city or town or neighborhood. A haunted house looks sort of like this. Sometimes it can be a haunted cornfield. In Massachusetts, where I am, they really like haunted cornfields. The idea is the same. The only difference is instead of a house, you're in a field of corn and people that are dressed up very scary jump out at you to scare you. So some Halloween traditions that are important to know when understanding this holiday is that throughout the whole month of October, it's really common to hear people telling ghost stories, or like I said, going to those haunted houses, carving pumpkins, as you can see the children doing in this picture, or watching scary Halloween movies. If you're in America, then you know so many movies are on right now with Halloween themes. Telling ghost stories is something that people like to do to be creative. Sometimes they're stories that their grandparents told them, or sometimes they're stories that they just make up to scare people. Usually they sit around a campfire outside and do that. Trick or treat is on the 31st of October. However, some towns and cities will tell you it's a different night, and that's just for regulation for law purposes. Okay, but most towns and cities allow children to get dressed up, like you see in the picture, in their favorite costumes and go door to door saying trick or treat to get candy from their neighbors. The key, however, is that the neighbor's light outside their house has to be on. If the neighbor does not put their house light on, you cannot go there. This year, obviously, because of COVID, our traditions have changed a little bit. A lot of cancellations of trick-or-treating. We might have more socially distanced activities taking place, like pumpkin carving or painting, and then winning a prize, or bobbing for apples. As you can see in the picture, that's what bobbing for apples is. You stick your face in water and try to grab the apple that's in the water with your teeth. It's very hard to do, actually. Other activities that might be popular would be donut on a string, as you can see the boy in the picture doing, making caramel apples. And caramel apples are just when you take a regular apple and you dunk it or put it into a caramel texture, frosting, whatever you want to call it, and then decorate it as you see in the picture. A donut on a string is just a pastry that we put on a string and you try to eat it. That's the goal. You might make spooky slime. So there's Halloween slime recipes. As you can see there, slime is something you can throw at somebody or put on things, and it's just supposed to be fun and weird. You can see in this picture there's eyeballs. That's something fun to do. Or pin the web pin the spider on the web. So we usually have pin the tail on the donkey at parties, but for Halloween, it's pin the spider on the web. So somebody will put a cloth around your eyes, spin you around in a circle, and tell you to pin the spider. You'll have a little paper spider, pin it on the web. And most people will be so dizzy that they won't be able to put the spider properly on the web. Some Halloween movies for kids, and the reason I'm posting these here is because if you are learning English right now, if you are learning English, even if you're very good, maybe intermediate, these are really good movies to watch because there you can understand a lot through context. So if you want something super easy, really, really easy, just to understand context, look at Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, Curious George. If you want something a little bit harder for yourself, you might go with movies that are made for children in elementary school. It's not saying that's the level you're on, but for English purposes, you can learn a lot of words by watching Halloween Town or The Nightmare Before Christmas. By the way, two of my favorite movies that I still watch. So I would recommend watching those. Some books which can also help you learn some more vocabulary would be these listed here. Very easy to understand and understand the context of. But if you do this, please pay attention to the sentence structure, because the sentence structure is something that you can take with you in speech and in writing. Thank you. So happy Halloween, everyone. And as always, please feel free to make requests for topics that you'd like to learn more about.